Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick breakdown over a rising star in our game. This is 19-year-old Joaquín Niemann from Chile. And what I see here is a guy that is sort of on that same path to meteoric stardom as Jon Rahm and, of course, Jordan Spieth were on. These guys played early, had early success in their career on the PGA Tour. And when you look at the world rankings, they're now both close to the top. I think they're both in the top 5 right now. And I see an opportunity for Joaquín Niemann to do that as well, because when you have early success on the PGA Tour, there's sort of this mental thing that clicks in you that realizes that you can do this on the highest level possible, and playing with these guys and seeing the shots that are similar to them instills sort of this mental confidence that, that it can be done. So, of course, this guy has had early success in order to get there. He won the Latin America Amateur event. And one thing that's interesting is that while John actually waited to turn pro after his last exemption of the U.S. Open, Joaquín Niemann has actually forfeited his U.S. Open exemption status, and I believe as well as the British Open as the Latin America Amateur Champion. And that, to me, shows that the guy has got unbelievable confidence in his game in order to feel like he can qualify. And I believe at this point that he has done that. So really good stuff here. As far as the golf swing goes, I just want to point out just a couple of things for this matchup that he does, and I've seen sort of this idea before. So when you talk about his takeaway with the driver, and we get to P3, which is when the lead arm is parallel to the ground in the backswing, and so we'll go ahead and stop it right about there. You can see that he's had a tremendous amount of hip turn already, which I really like because, number one, we don't want to restrict the hips in the backswing. That's going to cause a lot of problems on the downswing, and the physios that I talk to, you're increasing your risk for injury, and I don't want to get too much into that, but we do see evidence of that on LPGA and PGA Tours. So I like the hip turn because it gets the hand path gets really deep, so you can see where his hands are in relation to his right shoulder. That's definitely depth in the hands, and the hip turn allows him to do that. And so then going from the top of the backswing, you can see that the left arm and the hands are actually pretty high up in relation to his shoulder plane. And I have preferences, Ryan has preferences as well, but at the end of the day, like we always talk about, it's all about matching up to be functional. So because he has the hands really high here, what you're going to see is a little bit of lateral motion if you're looking at the face-on view. And what that does, that lateral motion is going to drop the right shoulder, and he'll actually add a ton of right lateral bend. I've seen this from a number of guys. Lee Trevino actually had a little bit of this action, and also Paula Creamer on the LPGA Tour. And this is about as extreme as I've seen. You can see the head drop from where it was at address to where it is now. And the only reason he can get away with this is by rotating severely. And, I have my own personal opinions on this action right here. That much right lateral bend as you're rotating can and does put quite a bit of stress on the lumbar spine. So it'll be interesting to see, at 19 years old, this guy's obviously very flexible, and I would be interested to hear and find out more about as he continues to play, how that lumbar spine holds up. And, of course, that can cause chain reactions to other joints, the neck as well. So let's kind of, look at that and see what goes on. But what I want you guys to take away is that if you have a backswing with a lot of hip turn early, you can still hit the ball really far, and that's preferential because it creates a lot of depth. And then if your hands are really high at the top, you can actually still add rotation by moving a little laterally towards the target, and that will drop the right shoulder, and then you can add right lateral bend, and that will help shallow out the club. Great position. Look forward to seeing what this guy does.